Today I thought to revisit the TEX Shinobi keyboard that I reviewed about 2 years ago. I'm using it as my daily driver. The reason that I'm using this specific one is two things. For one, the layout is exactly like Thinkpad, and I love Thinkpad keyboards. The second reason is that it has profiles, as you can see on the back. And these profiles let you change between different layouts on the keyboard. So on my daily job, I use MacBook, and when I get home, I use a Thinkpad Tiny. And that kind of, switching between Windows and Mac is not always like pleasant. That's why you need two profiles, one for Mac OS and one for basically Lenovo OS, which is like Windows. Let's see how it sounds like after 2 years. Everything sounds great. I have zero problem with the keyboard after 2 years. It works exactly like the first day. The nibble works perfectly. And this is what I actually use when I don't have my mouse. Sometimes it's just more comfortable to use this one. The reason that I really love this is, of course, like I'm used to it for 30 years. But the second thing is that when, for example, you're typing, right? If you have a trackpad, or if you have a mouse nearby, you actually have to lift your hand from the keyboard to use the mouse. But for example, when I'm like typing something and I need to use the mouse, I can just use this nipple and I don't need to lift my hand. So my workflow is faster and is less interruptive. That's why a lot of times I don't even bother when there's like not much interaction going on. If I want to just click on something, I either use shortcuts or I just use this nipple. So I had one worry about this keyboard, and I thought that the letters are gonna fade out after a while. But as you can see, it actually didn't happen. So everything is engraved, and I'm using it again for daily for 2.5 years. Everything stayed in place. And I'm super happy with my choice. At first, I was a bit uncomfortable spending so much money on the keyboard, but right now, I'm very happy that I bought this and I can't really live without this keyboard. I also bought the Bluetooth module. You don't really need it, so actually, lots of times I just connect to USB-C here and I don't use the Bluetooth module. I feel kind of safer when I do that. Here you can just put them up. You can lift your keyboard a bit if that's what you prefer. The keyboard itself is quite heavy, but it also gives me a good feeling because I feel like it's not really, shaking, or it's not really like moving around. It's very sturdy too. I actually dropped it a few times already, and it didn't break down at all. There is no scratches. The only thing is like the place that I put my palm here is a bit faded, but I think it's just the material. Of course, like after using something for 2 to 3 years, some of the material like will fade out, and that's not really talking about the quality of the keyboard. And the back is completely all right. There is one scratch here, probably from a drop, but other than that, I don't have any other problem. So what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm gonna remove the keys, and then we are gonna see how dirty it is like underneath. and we are gonna clean it. So let's get to it. So there are pink switches which are not that noisy. I don't really like to make sound when I'm like typing something. Of course, it doesn't give you the satisfaction of like other switches have, but I'm quite satisfied with the sound. So another layer is gone. So now everything is out. You can see how the board looks like. The LED for the caps lock is here. Then all the switches and all the keys. So the next step would be removing all the dust from between switches. So let's get to it. So of course I can make it cleaner, but I feel like it's cleaner than it used to be. So I'm quite happy with the result. On retrospective, probably you should not wet it before removing all the dust. That was definitely a mistake on my side. Next time I will do better. But all good. It looks nice, it looks clean. And just removing the last remaining parts. And let's put back all the keys. It looks like solving a puzzle. I also messed a bit with all the keys. I'm gonna clean them a bit and then put them back. So I thought maybe I can show you like C is, for example, a letter that I use very often because of Control C. This is how it looks like after 2 years of use. And last but not least, you have your nipple that you can put in place. As you can see, it also kind of held quite well after 2 years, even though they actually provide in the package a couple of spare ones. So I'm actually gonna change it to one of these. You can also buy them quite cheap in Amazon or eBay. Let's put it back. Nice. So I hope that you liked the video. All in is a keyboard that I really like. The travel of the keys are really good. The switch is nice. It's a cherry switch, of course. The layout is like a classic ThinkPad. If you like this kind of content, please don't forget to smash the like button. Please subscribe down below and see you in the next video. Bye.